Rokstar here. So, for about as long as I've been born, every year around this time, Super Bowl Sunday, my family, mostly my dad, makes this two big pots of chili that he puts pretty much everything in, and I always called it super chili.
So for about the last 30 years, Rod would make this chili for Super Bowl. He would start out normally at making a chili, but in actuality, I would help him finish it up. Salt, not very much. I like using a cast iron skillet because it tends to cook the meat a little more evenly. Using an electric stove, often the food don't cook at the same temperature, but I found using this skillet that I've had for 35 years, it helps to make all the meat and all the onions and peppers cook at the same temperature. So I mixed most of the tomato paste into my drained beef. I like doing that and letting it simmer just for a couple minutes before I mix this into my beans. And then I'm going to take the sausages and let them brown separately with the bell peppers. And then once they have browned, I'm going to put them into the beans. And I'm basically done. What would be left would be seasoning to taste. Let it simmer for a couple of hours. I let it sit on the stove and then put it in the refrigerator. And then we usually serve as needed out of the pot the next day. So we're going to First Sunday. And we've been doing First Sundays for about 3 years now, and that's when we meet over a family member's house and we break bread. And this year it's going to be super First Sunday because First Sunday is falling on Super Bowl. So I'm going to take the vegan chili, call it vegan chili, over to First Sunday. So in just a few minutes while this is simmering, I'm going to push it back to a lower burner and then work on the vegetarian chili.
Don't necessarily mean that you're healthy because, after you dig into the lifestyle and we go to research and find out ketosis and all that stuff and how our bodies really do need carbohydrates to function properly. And so I think that's why, I'm still a little confused about it. When I'm trying to lose weight.
So this is kind of thick right now. I am going to let it bring it to a high boil. I have some more meat I'm going to add into it. And I have some more tomato sauce I'm going to add to it. Tomato basil sauce. And it's coming out, smells delicious. If you were only here. This is the fire roasted tomatoes. And 3 cheese pasta with 3 cheeses. And I went to this store, it's called Fresh Times, and small little supermarket. I don't know how many there are around the country, but I like it because it was easy to get in and get out and to find everything you needed, and they make their own tomato sauce. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to let these get brown. You can hear them sizzling. peppers. And toss in here. And brown it up. A little bit more of the onions right in here. Let them brown up just a little bit. My dog Rigby is lying right here in the floor. He had his nice bath this morning and he's waiting for droppings. So I already fed him a nice treat that I purchased from the store. I don't like giving him too much of this very spicy food. So unfortunately, as things drop, he's a little quicker than I am in getting down there and getting it up. So I'm going to be real careful because I don't want him to get the spicy food. Nice and brown. Couple more minutes and then I'll mix this into the chili with the beef and the beans, and there's no draining of these sausages. It's turkey sausages, very little fat.
Okay.
It only took about an hour. Some of my prep time was cut because my onions, pico sauce, bell peppers were already cut. I had bought some ground beef earlier, but I froze it, so I did run back to the market and I purchased some ground beef that was already thawed out. And it will simmer on the stove for a couple of hours. And then, like I said, I'll let it cool and place it in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow we'll just serve to our needs. So we'll be going over to First Sunday, and I'll be switching over to the First Sunday meal here shortly. But I'm just gonna put my big pot on this larger burner so I can bring this to a boil. And then, of course, as it's boiling, I'll season it to taste because I do have a little Frank's. I'll add a little Frank's in there. And then it may need a little bit of salt or oregano, but I'll add that later. I try to season my meat so I don't have to use a lot of salt.
Say hi to the internet, Rigby. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why I use the taco sauce. By the time we